Hello, 4th grade. What we are going to work on today is comparing numbers using place values. So, what I'd like you to do, make this the title on your next open page in your math notebook. After you've done that, mark your page with your pencil and close your math notebook up. That way you're not tempted to write anything during I do, and you can open it back up right to that page when we get to the we do. Alright, so you can pause, and when you have done that, unpause, and on we'll go. Alright, so we got to talk about a word there. I said we're going to compare the values of numbers today. Compare means a different thing in math than it means in language arts. I know you're used to compare and contrasting things in language arts, which means like find ways they're similar and ways they're different. That's not really what we use that word to mean in math. When we talk about comparing numbers in math, what we are talking about is which one is greater and which one is less, using one of these symbols to compare them. So something like if, a real simple example, if I have 4 Skittles and my friend has 5 Skittles, if we're going to compare our numbers of Skittles in math, we would say, basically who has more. We would use this symbol here to say, you can look at this two ways, right? This means that 4 Skittles is less than 5 Skittles, or you can look at it as 5 Skittles is greater than 4 Skittles, but yeah, just either way you're involving using this symbol. So it wouldn't matter if we reversed it, we would still make kind of the big side of the sign go toward the greater number, and the small pointy side of the sign go toward the lesser number. This means 5 is greater than 4. That's how I would read this bottom one, if you're not used to that symbol. 5 is greater than 4. And this top one, which obviously says the same thing, we would just read it in reverse. We would just say 4 is less than 5. Those mean the same thing, just doesn't matter which way you put it. So we're going to figure out today how to compare values that are much larger, numbers like we've been using up to 1 million. So in September, the amount of money you could win in the Georgia lottery was $2,734,617. The amount of money you could win in the Alabama lottery was $2,719,899. Which lottery was worth more money? Compare the values using less than or greater than. Okay, so these are obviously both a lot of money, but the question is which one is greater than the other? So let me show you my strategy for figuring that out. Here's what I do. I like to write the two numbers above each other, or like above and below each other, where all the place values line up. So 2,734,617. And then I'm going to put the Alabama number right below it, but I'm going to make sure each place is under the same place in this number. So 2,719,899. Alright, so they're lined up like perfectly over each other. And I'm going to start at the biggest place, the greatest place. I'm going to start way out here in the millions and say, alright, which one of these two numbers has more millions? Because if either one has more millions, it has to be the greater number. Any number with 2 millions, no matter what's after it, has to be greater than any number with 1 million. There's no way around it. Right? No matter what I fill these blanks in, you don't have to see them, you know that 2 million is going to be more and 1 million is going to be less. Even if this is all zeros, the smallest possible number, and this is all nines, the greatest possible digit, still this one's more. All right, so no matter what, if one of them has more millions than the other, it's going to be greater. But they don't. These are the same. So they both have 2 millions, so I can't tell which is greater yet. Next thing I'm going to do is look at the next place and say, okay, well, so they have the same millions. If any digit has more 100,000s, it doesn't matter what the rest is. If one of them has 600,000s, doesn't even matter what's after it. It's going to be more than any number that has less 100,000s than it. Again, even if I put the smallest digit in every single one of these, and the largest digit in every single one of these, it doesn't matter. This has to be more. So I'm going to say, well, which one has more 100,000s? Well, they're the same. So then I'm going to go to the next digit. So I start at the greatest digit, then the next digit, then the next place over, and say, all right, well, which one has more 10,000s? And I'm going to keep doing that till I find one, and I did finally find a difference here. Finally, I reached a place where they have a different amount. And once I do, if you start from the biggest place and go toward the smallest, the first digit that's greater, that's the greater number. This is going to have to be it. So this is the greater number, and this is less. Doesn't even matter what's after it. It doesn't matter that this one has all these 8s and 9s. Doesn't matter at all, because if I start those numbers out, this one's 273 something, 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 something. And this one's 217 something, 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 something. No matter what I put in these places, this number has to be smaller because of this spot. Even if this gets all 9s, and this gets all 0s, this number is still greater. 30,000 is still bigger than 19,999, no matter what. So when I find the very first place with a greater digit, that's the greater number. That's it. And I can write it out with that symbol. So I'm going to say, my problem says compare the values using these symbols. So I'm going to do that. 2,734,617 is greater, so it gets the bigger side of the sign, is greater than 2,719,899. So you would rather win the Georgia lottery than the Alabama lottery, though either one would be just great. All right, open your math notebook. Let's do another example together, if you will. Okay. Open your notebook. So on We Do, you can either, I would pause it, write the problem down, and then you can either work it by yourself and then unpause and watch me do it and see if we match. You can work on it while I work on it, or you can just listen to me work on it, then pause and write it down when it's done. You pick. Okay. All right, 739,795 people live in Alaska. 755,393 people live in North Dakota. Which state has more residents? Compare using greater or less. All right, so here's my strategy. I'm going to list the two populations right over each other so I can compare them easily. Okay. So what I do, if you want to write in your notes, start with the largest place. So my largest place here is the 100,000s. Neither North Dakota nor Alaska has 1 million people in it. They're pretty small states for how many people. So I'm going to look in the largest place, and these match. They both have 700,000. 7 in the 100,000s place, 700,000. So I cannot tell yet which number is greater than the other. So that's first. Second, go to next largest place. So that's going to be the 10,000ths place. And here I already have a difference, right? This one has more 10,000ths than the top one, so I can already tell this is the greater number. Greater because more 10,000ths. Doesn't even matter what comes next. If one of them has more 10,000ths than the other, there's nothing these other four digits can do to make up 10,000 because these stop at 9,000. So they'll never get another 10,000 over here no matter what. So as soon as you find a bigger digit in the same place, you got it. So now I know that 739,795 is less than, so it gets the sign with the smaller end, less than 755,393. So that means that fewer people live in Alaska and more people live in North Dakota. All right. Guys, that's how that works. That's how you compare the values of two numbers using their place values. So hopefully this made some sense to you, and if it did, we will finish up with the you-dos in class tomorrow. If you're totally confused or if this just seemed like a brand new thing to you, it might be a good idea to watch these two examples again so that you come to class with a little better idea what to do tomorrow. All right, see you then.